Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Batman1106 back again with another video for you guys. Alright, look, I gotta be honest with y'all. This week was supposed to be the return of Alex Moran, the long-awaited return. I had already filmed the video, and I thought everything was great. And then once I went to go look at the footage, it looks like this. Oh! Oh, no! Go! Boo! Come on! Come on! Touchdown! Touchdown! So I hope you guys understand. I was trying to edit it within the week, and I just couldn't do it like that because a lot of the gameplay is literally that, and after that, it's just like after it finally gets like set, the game's practically already over, so there's nothing for you to watch. I'm trying to get it figured out though. I know college football playoffs is on the horizon, so we're trying to get that figured out. But like Alex Moran has taught us, sometimes in life you got to call an audible, right? So sometimes you got to do that. So I figured, hey, I don't have a video for this week, and I really enjoyed this movie. I want to have someone to talk to, so I figured, why not call an audible and talk to you guys about it, give you guys a review. And I know, it's a year late. It's a year late. I know that, granted, right? But better late than never. Am I wrong? So you guys get a video this week, and I get to talk about something I really enjoyed, and I mean,
I see this as an absolute win.
so let's go ahead and get this review started. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I should have prefaced this before, right? This is a spoiler talk. This is a spoiler talk. So this week I finally had the pleasure of getting around to watching Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This movie follows Dr. Robert J. Oppenheimer during the events of World War II, in which he was the head of the Manhattan Project. During the Manhattan Project, they were trying to develop the nuclear weapon of destruction, the first of its kind. And so you follow Dr. Oppenheimer, and you follow his story and the development of the bomb and the before and the after. I do enjoy how the movie isn't about solely World War II. It is about Oppenheimer. It is solely about the development that he had and what he did as head of head of the project for for the nuke. So I never got around to watching Oppenheimer while it was in theaters. I never got around to having the chance to, but getting to watch it now a year later after the hype had died down and all that. It came out on Peacock a while ago, but I just never got around to it. And then I saw the Steelbook that they had put in Walmart, and I said, you know what? I'm like, it has a bunch of hype around it. I really hope it's good. Let me get that, right? So I bought it with high expectations, and let me tell you, they did not disappoint at all. I don't regret spending the $30 I did on that Steelbook, and then getting to watch it was just an amazing thing. While watching the movie, I really got to like felt like I was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It really felt like the movie has a great way of translating its feelings, and I feel like that's what a movie is supposed to do. It translates the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of like you're there with the doctors and all the scientists there, and that you're really a part of the Manhattan Project yourself. Yes, it does follow like his non-court case around like the entire movie. You're following that, and I really do appreciate how his intertwining storylines. That's one of like the many things that Christopher Nolan is very good at. Is just intertwining storylines while telling one singular story. What I do enjoy about the movie a lot is that it's not just about the curation of the bomb itself. It's just it's the before, the during, and the after effects of it, and how it affected Oppenheimer himself as a person. Because in the beginning, he's so like willing, he's so like excited to do this, and while he's doing it, it's his life's work, and he says, he's ready for it. He wants to do this, and he's so excited. You can see it in his like demeanor, in his character, how excited he is to get it done. Even when they're doing the testing for it, I felt like he felt such great accomplishment when it turned out to be a success, and they didn't burn the earth down. But after, a lot of people had said that the gym scene was very haunting, and I didn't understand what they meant by that until I actually got around to seeing it. And then once I had actually gotten the chance to view it, it makes sense because Oppenheimer himself struggles internally with the very creation that he made, because it's his life's work, yes, but at the same time, at what cost? He built the most destructive weapon of all time. And in the beginning of the movie, it starts with a quote about how Prometheus had given fire to the mortals, and how for doing that he was chained to a rock and tortured for the rest of his life. And in a sense, I think that really follows Oppenheimer himself, because he gave us the fire, in which is the nuke, and he was tortured by it. And you can see that in the gym scene when he's looking around and he's trying to say things that he should feel accomplished. He should feel like this great victory, but instead I think that he felt like very remorseful about it. He felt very, very conflicted, and you can see that when he goes into the president with President Truman, and he said, and they're asking him like, oh, like they're all excited, like you're the most famous man in the world right now, this the other thing, and they're asking him like, oh, like what's next, and he doesn't say it outright, but he's kind of like begging for their help, and he tells President Truman, he says, I can't help but feel that I have blood on my hands, and in a way, he's not wrong. He's the one who crafted the bomb. He's the one that did it. And so I think one of the great things the story does is that, yes, though he is supposed to be very excited about it and very, very happy, feel the sense of victory and fulfillment, he walks away and he's like, after the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, he sits there while viewing the pictures of the aftermath and the effects that it had on the people, and he can't stand to look at them. He sees them, and then he like covers himself, and then like he looks at him, and you can see that it's affecting him because he knows that that's all because of him, because of the thing that he built. And to me, that's one of the most like interesting things about the character and the story in itself is that how conflicted he is because of his own project. And like I said, it goes back to the Prometheus thing, how he was, chained to the rock and tortured. He was tortured with it because he couldn't take it back anymore. He gave it to the people, and they had used it, or what had happened because of him. And it's so well written how the build up going into making the gadget, the bomb. They have the marbles, they have the fish bowl, and they have the wine glass, and they have the represent the uranium, and the uranium, I think, like purified, or however you say it. And they keep dropping. At first it's like two marbles, and three marbles, two marbles, and they keep dropping. And I love how like the story, like, it doesn't remind you what it signifies, but if you paid attention to it, you'll know, right? So it's just one of those like constant reminders, like the details. And so they keep dropping marbles in it continuously, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And like me myself, I couldn't help but like get excited. I was like, wow, they're actually getting around to like making it. It's actually coming to fruition, which is pretty exciting to see. There's a scene where he tells his wife, and he says, "If it goes well, I'll call you and tell you to bring in the sheets." And when the Trinity test is a success, so when they carry Oppenheimer above the crowd, and they're chanting, ah, P, and they're chanting for him, he's the hero. And then he tells them, he tells the one of the people to give a message to his wife, and he says, tell her to bring in the sheets. And he calls her, and they send the message to her, and like I felt this great sense of like I felt like I was there in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I was part of the Manhattan Project. I was like I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I actually shed a tear. I actually like started shedding tears. I had to wipe myself. I was like, wow, like I can't imagine how he must have felt that his life's work actually had panned out for him in it, and it was a success. And so yeah, I just feel like that entire section of the movie, of just him being able to see his success and his work pay off for him, was really like powerful for me. And I think that's something that Christopher Nolan's really good at doing. Is I think he knows how to convey emotion so well. And from The Dark Knight to Interstellar to Inception to Oppenheimer, I think Christopher Nolan's one of his like many strengths is just how he can convey emotion, not only through the actors and how he writes his scripts, but I think just how like the tone of his movies, you can just feel him, and I really enjoy that. One of the other sections I really enjoyed in this movie is the beginning, where he's talking to the professors and he's getting to move around, the universities. And one of the professors asks him, he's like,
Algebra's like sheet music. The important thing isn't can you read music, it's can you hear it. Can you hear the music, Robert?
and I thought I think that one specific quote, that one question, I think maybe this is just me reaching, right? Maybe this is me reaching, and you can call it that. Guys, looking back on it now, maybe they were just talking about algebra and I was just reaching. I don't know, but I still like my interpretation of it. You can call it that for sure. But I think that entire "can you hear the music?" I think it just goes like it can align so much throughout the whole movie, when he talks to Albert Einstein, getting to hear the interaction that Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein had, which by the way, the dude who plays Albert Einstein, like he looks just like him to be honest. Like and getting to hear the conversation he had with Albert, it's very intriguing the way he from the beginning he's so conflicted, and he talks to Albert and he's saying, "Do you remember when I had came to you and I said that I think we might have started a chain reaction?" And he says, and Albert replies, "Yeah, what about it?" And Oppenheimer replies that I believe we did. And so in my mind, I took that as, can you hear the music? It's like, can you see the writing on the walls that once you do this, there really is no going back. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because they were at a race with the Nazis to get this done, and then they were at a race with the Soviets. So once Hitler had died, they were still at a race with the Soviets. So it was still like, we need to get this done before someone else does, or else, it's gonna be us that's gonna pay the price for it, and not, since we didn't get it done first. To me, it was like, can you hear the music? Do you do you understand? Can you hear what's gonna happen? Can you feel what's like what will happen regardless of the situation? Even if you do this, do you see the writing on the walls that no matter, like, this is gonna change everything forever? And I think one of the other quotes that I really like in the movie is, "You gave them the power to destroy themselves," and it's just like, wow, like they understood the magnitude of this moment, this truly a moment in time. Like, you imagine being a doctor or a scientist, or being Oppenheimer himself in this moment in time where you had to get this done and there was no other option for you, but you knew it was going to come at a cost regardless, right? And so I think these things in the movie that they make you understand, like, yes, like yes, though it is a very tragic thing to the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but at the same time, it was bound to happen to someone one way or another. It was bound to happen to someone else, I think. So I think stuff like that, it's a great movie because of those certain sections in the movie where it makes you think not just about the movie, but because this is a real story, these are real people, this is real life, and this actually happened. So it's like you can only imagine what they were actually thinking at this time, and so to me, those parts of the movie, of that section, just make it really good. So then we get to the Kangaroo Court, which in my mind is just like I said, Christopher Nolan's one of his many great strengths is that he can intertwine storylines within the one single story that he's telling. And this is just another one where I was just like so interested, so intrigued, and so like, what's it called? Like it grasped my attention, but I was like glued to the screen the entire time watching it because I was like, wow, like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Because honestly, prior to this, dude, and I'm gonna sound dumb, I really didn't know. I didn't know who Oppenheimer was. Like, the closest thing I knew about him wasn't even that he did the Manhattan Project. It was an epic rap battle of history with him versus Thanos. That was the dead ass, dude. That was the closest thing I knew about him. So once I had gotten to see this movie, and I was like, wow, like, all this stuff really happened. Getting to watch that court case where it was all against him. And from the get go, I was like, wow, why are they interrogating him about something? Why are they making it seem like he's the bad guy when he helped them, essentially, when he did them the biggest favor that they could ever ask? And getting to watch that play out, the entire thing of where, people are coming in and finding out that Strauss had, put the whole thing against him. You know, he had played him into thinking, oh, like, this is just for your security clearance, and it's just, you just need to renew it and stuff like this. But the whole thing was against him from the get go, and he never had a shot at winning. And I really think that that was just something that really played into, like, wow, like they really just used him. And in the movie, there's one scene where he's even talking to a scientist, trying to convince him, hey, come with me to Los Alamos, which is the town he had built, for this secret project. And he had told him, he said, well, I don't want to, because they don't want to work with me. And Oppenheimer tells him, yeah, but they need us. And the dude replies to him, until they don't. And it's really true, because you can see that and it played in his hand, where they needed him to do, to build the bomb, and the device, the gadget, whatever you want to call it, whatever he wants to call it. but they needed him then, and then as soon as they didn't, they dropped him. And it just goes to show, like, wow, like you could be, you could be at the top of the world for one moment, and then the next one you're just some normal dude, and it's like, wow, you really played him like that. You really got him to do this thing for you, and then your way of paying him back was to discredit him and have him lose his credibility. You just wanted to make him look like a communist, which is the craziest thing. And yeah, maybe he was because he couldn't. He was affiliated with the party so much, but he had never really joined because he never got his card. Which I didn't even know you had to get cards to be a communist back in the day. That's crazy. But he was affiliated so much with his brother being in the party, his brother's wife, his wife, and then the side piece he was with. Like, it was just, they really painted him as a communist, and so it's just like, wow, like maybe he, you're tilting, you're veering on it, and then but then you're looking at it and you're like, but he did all these great things, and he never turned them down. He was always, you know. But even in the movie, they say themselves that all of the great scientists at that time were, either mostly communist or like they were veering, like they were very liberal on it. And so just watching those scenes and getting to watch and understand, like, wow, all these people that he had worked with, because they didn't particularly like enjoy who he was as a person, they were like they chose to turn on him. And what was his name? There are a lot of names in there. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of the names, but I just remember the faces. I'm like, okay, this is person, this is that person. There's a lot of names in there. I don't remember his name, but it was the one who wanted to make the hydrogen bomb. And because because in the movie it makes it seem that just because Oppenheimer really didn't pay attention to it because of his fixation on developing the hydrogen bomb, and Oppenheimer not really caring about it and being like, yo, we're building this right now, how about we focus on this? It seems like he turned on him so he could like get back at him for not wanting to do his idea. Strauss himself, like as vindictive as he seemed, like I thought he was like a good guy. Like Robert Downey Jr. played him so well, and props to him, man. Props to all the actors that did their thing. Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, all them people, bro. But Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. really take it home, and I can see why they won the Oscar for it. Cause good lord, man, getting to see them, especially Robert Downey Jr., how he played like such a like convincing character that he wanted to like. He's like, oh yeah, Robert, we're willing to help you. We're willing to help you, and we want you here. And he tells him, he's like, oh yeah, you need your renewal for your security clearance, but that's it's just it's not a trial or anything. You just you could possibly get denied. It's just it's a yes or no type thing. And then he like tricked him into getting. He swindled him in a way, and it's so very interesting to watch all of it turn, and for him to finally like start telling the truth once it all started caving in. And it was very very crazy to watch it like all implode on him in a way, because once he starts telling the story and he gets all these people, he's like yeah, like I got him. Like he never once said he apologized for Hiroshima or Nagasaki. He said he felt so proud about it. He never felt remorse for it. And that's his like conviction, like him trying to convince himself of being like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm like the savior. I'm saving these people from that man. And one of the many things that I really enjoyed is that during the testimonies of the people for Oppenheimer, that they were trying to get garner his security clearance, and these people come in and they tell they're telling lies, falsities, and lying on his name, and Oppenheimer just sits there on the couch. And Oppenheimer, his lawyer he comes sit down with him on the couch while Oppenheimer's having to listen to all these people lie on him, and he tells him, he's like, yo, like I'm very sorry. And Oppenheimer just sits there, with it, he just sits there and he's like, when is anyone ever going to start telling the truth? And and it's just like, wow, like all these people were conspiring against him because they didn't like him, because and because the fucked up part about it, Oppenheimer literally got his name lied on, got his credibility um annihilated in this one point, solely because he insulted Dr. Strauss. Like, bro, like, bro, you took Oppenheimer roasted your shit, and you couldn't take it. So you're like, man, fuck this guy. I'm gonna get his security clearance taken away. That is big text level hatred. That is like 1,000 level hatred right there. Put him in the player haters ball for hater of the year. no doubt. Yeah, getting to watch this movie. The runtime is 3 hours. I really didn't feel it at all. It felt like it was just like boom, 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 one thing after another, after another, after another, and it just. Keep in mind, it was 1 in the morning when I started to watch this movie. I was a little bit sleepy, but because of the pace and the continuous things that happen here, and again, it felt so like energetic. The movie just was so sporadic, and it you never really lose focus of like what's going on, but it's just like it keeps moving from thing to thing to thing, and you never really like start to get bored or anything like that. At least I didn't. That's just my personal opinion. I never got bored of it. I never sat there and was like, oh, this is dragging on too long. This is to me, this movie is just utter perfection. This might be going on for too long. I'm sorry for yapping a lot. I just really enjoyed this movie. This movie tells its story so well and so focused on what it's supposed to be that it never loses track. I don't think it ever. I never got bored of it. I never wanted to turn the TV off and look at something else. This movie is utter perfection in my opinion, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's the best movie I've seen this year for sure. Dude, this movie was so damn good. I'm telling you, I went to sleep at 4 in the morning after watching this. I went on Amazon right after I finished watching it, and I bought the book. The book that this movie is based on, I went out and bought it. American Prometheus. I went out. I got on Amazon that morning, and I had bought it. It got here today, which is great. So perfect timing, right? This movie is so great. I wish I had gotten the chance to go watch it in 70 millimeter IMAX, which I was supposed to do. Right? It's such a great movie. The character, like I said, and I can't keep repeating myself, but one more time. The characters, the cinematography, the storytelling, the dialogue, the pace, it's all there. And if this movie, if I take anything away from this movie, it's just like like these were real people. These was a real moment in time where they really didn't have a choice, and though they did the thing that they were set out to do, at what cost did it? At what did it cost them? And you can put the Thanos meme up there, and literally like everything, like it did cost them everything in a sense because they gave them the fire, and now they're having to live with that. So as the final shot comes in, and we pan into the cold stare of Dr. Oppenheimer for the final time, all you're left wondering is, can you hear the music? Guys, I just realized I forgot to tell y'all, but this movie was an absolute 10 out of 10. Would recommend to all of you guys. So I hope you guys go out and see it and enjoy. All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed talking about it. I'm sorry if I yapped a lot and I really wasn't making a lot of sense, but I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I really did have fun watching it. I had a great time just getting to know about something I never knew about, and hopefully I get to learn a lot more from this book. Like I told you, I bought, and it's a pretty big book. So hopefully I get to get around to it here soon. Lord knows I'm gonna be reading that on my lunch breaks and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't get to upload the college football video that I wanted to upload, but I'm gonna try and figure that stuff out as to why that keeps happening, so we don't have any more problems, and I don't have to shoot in videos for you guys anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching the videos all the time. I really do appreciate y'all, and more videos to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.